Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call Randall County Case Constant number 82246 here on the final hearing. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Garrett's with us for CASA. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the child. Mr. Barfield is with us representing the father. Mr. Christopher, who is with us. The mother, Ms. Deschanel, is with us. Ms. Christie is not with us. She has filed a motion for continuance today, stating that she's currently in an in-person juvenile proceeding and could not find anyone to cover for her. So she has filed that motion for continuance. We obviously can't go forward on a final without mother's attorney being there. So I'm going to grant that motion for continuance. And I note we had our last permanency hearing in this case on October 17th. So even in lieu of Ms. Christie being here, I want to go ahead and just have a real short permanency hearing. And then I will be announcing that we're resetting the final for sometime on February 24th. That keeps us within our deadline without having to extend the case.
Your Honor, could we bring in Lynn Jennings?
Yeah, so I didn't want her to wait around for us. So you won't need her for the perm, will you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. I'll let her know what's going on. Dr. Jennings, this is Judge Graham. If you'd unmute.
Hi, Hey, Judge.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Listen, we're not going to go forward with the final today. The mother's attorney, Ms. Christie, had to be in another court for an in-person proceeding. So we're going to reset that for February 24th. And I'm sure that someone, department or Ms. Gutierrez will be with you, but we didn't want to keep you waiting in the waiting room. So.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good week, Lynn.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Your Honor, we also have a Sergeant Logan Gracier in the waiting room. I apologize, Your Honor. I should have asked for him with
I don't have anybody in the waiting room.
Your Honor, I'm not available the 24th.
Well, get with Haley then. We're going to have it before the 27th.
Yeah, I'm in a jury trial in Rockwall, Texas.
Okay. Well, my understanding is the idea is to name your client permanent managing conservator. So if you can find somebody to just cover for you, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. I'll do my best.
Okay. We'll do a quick permanency hearing so that we don't run outside of our deadlines. And what was the officer's name, Ms. Gutierrez? And I'll watch for him.
It was, I believe, Gracier, Grazier, Sergeant Logan Gracier.
Okay. I'll watch for him. We can go ahead and get started. And if I see him, I'll interrupt and we'll bring him in to let him know.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a moment.
Okay.
The department calls Brandon Hernandez as its witness.
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, if you'd unmute, please. Okay, thank you, sir. If you'd raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gutierrez?
Thank you, Your Honor. Brandon, who do you work for?
St. Francis Ministries.
What do you do for them?
I'm a permanency specialist.
And are you assigned to the child Tyson?
Yes, I am.
Where is Tyson currently placed?
With his biological father.
And can you give us details on how he's doing in that placement?
Tyson is doing very well at that placement. Jesse has met all of his medical needs and any type of needs if Tyson was to express any more concerns. Tyson is happy there. He's bonding with his other siblings that are currently at the house. That's where he wants to spend forever until he goes off to school.
Okay, and for clarification, is his father Jesse Christopher?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, how is the child doing in school?
Tyson is doing better. Previously, before the case had started, Tyson was struggling in school. As of now, he does receive help, extra classes to have an advantage going into taking the STAR test. All of his grades have been passing since moving in with Jesse.
Okay, is Tyson in therapy or anything like that?
Tyson is not in therapy.
Okay, and is he on any psychotropic medication?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now as far as parental progress on the service plan, how is Ms. Deschanel progressing on her service plan?
Ms. Deschanel has completed some services and other services she has not.
Can you please identify the services she has not completed?
Last time I spoke with Ms. Deschanel, she had not completed an OSAR. She had not completed her wave. Of course, she had refused to drug screen this last time we had sent her. And then she had not completed her Padre classes.
Do her visitations with the children continue to be suspended?
Yes, ma'am.
Apologies, I meant her visitation with Tyson. Does that continue to be suspended?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is she, to your knowledge, still married to Sean Deschanel?
Yes, she is.
Okay. And he is the alleged perpetrator on one of her other children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Or physical abuse. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Barfield.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ingram.
No questions.
All right. Ms. Deschanel, or if you'd unmute, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, you understand that we're not going forward with the final today because Ms. Christie couldn't be here.
Yes, sir.
So do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Hernandez today?
Not at this time. Only, well, there is one, when I can pick up my kid's presents that he still has.
Mr. Hernandez, can you answer that?
They were delivered to Stacy Grant's office.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Deschanel, you can just get with Ms. Christie about we'll come back for the final hearing. That will be on February 24th. I don't know what time yet. You can get with Ms. Christie and she'll let you know.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, then. Anyone else have other witnesses just for the permanency hearing? No? All right, Mr. Ingram, any recommendations I need to hear?
Just continue with TMC, continue placement with dad. Tyson's doing very well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as I said, Ms. Christie's motion for continuance is granted. I'll continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue Tyson's current placement with his father. I'm going to order Ms. Deschanel to both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. What time are we there? Let's say 4 p.m. tomorrow, February 14th at Care Express in Amarillo on Ross Osage Street. Ms. Deschanel, do you have transportation to get to that drug screen?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Now you've not been stellar in getting drug tests done, so you need the drug screen by tomorrow at 4 p.m. Don't miss
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. I'll see y'all back on February 24th to have the final hearing. We'll stand in recess. Everyone have a good rest of your week. Okay, Ms. Baker is now with us. So I don't have anyone left in the waiting room and everyone's accounted for. So Ms. Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Michaela Baker as its witness.
All right. Ms. Baker, if you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baker, who do you work for?
St. Francis Ministries.
What do you do for them?
I'm a permanency specialist.
And are you assigned to the child, Philip?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And is the department joint managing conservators with the parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what are the parents' names?
Jessica and Robert.
Okay. Now you filed a court report on January 24th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that court report.
All right. So noted, and I have read the report.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Michaela, is the child still in that same placement, the therapeutic foster home in Lubbock?
Yes, ma'am.
How is he doing in that placement?
At this time, he's doing good. There still have been some behavioral concerns on his part. He does have just tantrums in the home. They have gotten a little bit better. He's been going to therapy still, and he's been making some progress for therapy. He did make a report about a month ago or so that he had gone to school and reported that he wasn't being treated fairly or not getting fed in the home of the foster family. As soon as he got back home, he started crying and apologized. He was angry at them and kind of made this report. So he's still acting out and having behavioral concerns at this time. But I believe that at this point, he's in a good place where he needs to be, and they're holding him accountable and offering appropriate services for him.
Okay. Is he on any psychotropic medication?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
And is he being seen at least every 30 days by a psychiatrist to review that medication?
Yes, ma'am, he is.
Okay. And is he up to date on his medical and dental exams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I understand that Philip was able to have a few visits home over the holidays. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me generally how those went?
They're going good. He likes to be able to see not only his foster parents, but also his grandparents. He reported that he had a good time. He enjoyed it. There weren't any major behavioral issues at those visits. He still did have points where he acted up and had tantrums, but no physically aggressive reports were made.
Okay, but were there concerns raised by the parents for the child during those visits?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Was there an incident with Legos or something to that effect?
I believe that was, it wasn't over the holiday. It was prior to, but that was still an incident that we wanted to have in there for record.
Okay, could you tell us what concerns the parents have about the child returning home at this time?
Yes, ma'am. At this point, in his foster home currently, he doesn't have any other younger children with him. He does have an older child there. She's kind of towards high school age. So he gets along with her very well. But at this point, considering he's still having behavioral issues, they are concerned because they do tend to appear with other children in the home being younger. And with him having another child in the home, his foster home, they're very concerned that he just hasn't made the progress yet to safely return back and being around other younger kids. So we've definitely seen behavioral patterns pop up with younger kids.
Okay, now you understand our dismissal date is coming up, I believe, in May. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the department's and the parents' plan for the child at this point so that there could be some stability for this child before the dismissal date hits?
We have staffed and approved a home study to be done on the grandparents. We think that since there's no other children in that home, it might be a better or more appropriate placement that he'd be able to thrive in without having to have other children around him. So that's our option A right now of what we're trying to get completed and approved. So.
Okay. And were the parents given any services to work?
Yes, they were. They are both Robert and Jessica were given individual counseling along with the basics of staying in contact with your caseworker. And it was also ordered that they may be required to complete family counseling if it's recommended, but it has not been recommended at this time.
Okay. Pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Naranjo, questions?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. Ms. Baker, has there been talks about doing a brain imaging for the child as well?
Yes, ma'am, there has.
And has there been any update on progress on that?
The last time that I spoke to the CPA on the case, she said that they were just waiting to get a date on it and that she'd let me know once she has. I believe that was last week that I had spoken to her on it.
And was that the date to get the referral or the date to do the brain imaging?
The date to go in and get the brain imaging completed.
Okay. And have there also been talks about the psych evaluation and its issues back with Stonebridge?
Yes, we had an issue whenever they went in and taken Philip into Stonebridge to get the psych evaluation. The results were not very accurate. There was just a lot of information missing out that they depended solely on Philip to report, and he just didn't remember all of the dates and specifics. So I called Stonebridge and I had them talked to them about setting up an evaluation where they can call Mrs. Searly and speak to her and get some of the specifics of it. The last time that I spoke to them, they said that they were going to be reaching out to her to set up that appointment, and then they would just go in and go back over the psych evaluation that they've already done with Philip and make the corrections.
Did they give like an anticipated timeline of when they'd be reaching out to Miss Searly to facilitate this?
They did not. They might have already. I assumed that they probably did. So I don't have a date or a timeline for you.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ingram, any questions?
No questions.
And Mr. Searly, did you have any questions for Ms. Baker? No, he's shaking his head no. Okay. All right, then, Ms. Gutierrez, any further witnesses?
Just a quick follow-up question for Michaela.
Okay.
Michaela, you indicated that home study for the grandparents is already progressing, is already started. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Or yes, yes, ma'am. Sorry.
That's okay. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Baker, I've read your report and didn't mention this brain imaging. Is that something that some other professional has recommended that be done?
I believe so. I had spoken to Jessica about it, and she said with the previous worker that was something that they wanted to, that they were referred to. So I believe so.
So that probably came from some medical specialist that had seen Philip, I would assume.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see if I had anything else. I read in your report that he struggles some at school, especially in math. Does he get any kind of accommodations at school?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Is he getting tutoring for math, or is that something that I need to order? Or
If you ordered it, that would be great, and we can move forward with it.
okay. Mr. Searly, do you have a problem with that? You can just shake your head yes or no. Okay. Okay. All right, then. Okay, Ms. Gutierrez, did you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the department rests.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ronho, do you have witnesses?
No, Your Honor, I would just like to point out that I don't think Miss Searly has been in communication with anyone to do another psych eval.
Okay. Okay. Then, Mr. Ingram, did you have witnesses?
No witnesses.
Okay, Mr. Searly, did anything you need to tell me, or did you have any witnesses? No, he's saying no. Okay. Okay, then, Mr. Ingram, recommendations?
Yes, sir. Continue. The department is joint managing conservators with parents. Continue placement as is. We actually got a pretty positive report from placement on Philip. I mean, there are some behavior issues, but I think it's a good foster placement, good therapeutic foster placement. He said really there's more problems at school than there are at home. And Philip does get accommodations at school.
Okay.
The foster dad reported that he wasn't sure if it was actual 504 accommodations. And I'll be honest, I hear that term all the time, but I don't know exactly what it means. But he does get some special accommodations to help him at school.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Okay, then I will continue the department and the parents as joint managing conservators, continue Philip's current placement, and I will order that he receive tutoring in math and any other subject that he may be struggling in according to his teachers.
Judge Casa may have some extra
Oh,
information.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot that Casa's in this. Okay, ma'am, Alexi, you have anything to add?
No, he's doing very good at his placement. The only thing is he does have behavioral issues at school, and school works very well with him to pull him aside and help him through these. So does foster parents. CASA's recommendation is continued placement where he is, and that joint managing conservatorship be continued.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot you. Okay. We will have the final hearing in this case on April 10th, 2023. As far as I know, that will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing. So parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket shortly before April 10th to see what time that hearing will take place. I will just note that this case has already been extended, and I show a final dismissal date of May 5th or 6th. I can't tell. May 6th. So we're coming up to where we won't be able to extend this case any further. So, okay. That will conclude this case. For those of you involved, I'll be back at 10:30 to call two more Randall County.